Nick, could you say prayer for us, please?
Almighty eternal God, we give thanks that we can gather in this place. We give thanks that you bring us together in unity with the common aim of working together for the good of Eastwood Town and all who live here. Lord, may your love bind us together in our common humanity. May we set aside prejudice and hatred and discord and seek love and unity and common ground in all things. May this town hall and this meeting be a place where common ground is sought for the good of all people. So fill this place with your Holy Spirit, and may your presence guide the deliberations of this council. We give thanks for all those who give themselves in service in this community in so many ways. So Lord, we offer ourselves to you again tonight and say, use us to build this community in love and peace and unity. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Saviour and Lord. Amen. Amen.
Welcome to everybody at this evening's meeting. Could we have apologies, please? Could we have apologies, please?
Sue's not here. Sue.
Yes, sir.
Susan Mitchell.
So, maybe Rebecca. Declaration of interest. None. Notification of lobbying. None. The minutes.
There's a lot of minutes.
Yes.
In order that we can move the meeting on, and none have been, I don't think anything has been notified to the office. Any questions?
No, councillor.
I would like to note the two for noting, which is the town, the annual town meeting and the annual meeting of the town council, and moves on block. Propose that they are true record the other three meetings.
Okay, Bob, I'll second that. All in favour? Questions from members of the public? Yes, Pat.
Right, mate. I think it was the April meeting. I asked a question regarding if and how many people weren't covered after the cash office closed, and I was promised an answer. I've not received a report, so I'm asking it again. Is there anybody not covered by all the things that Boxer Council proposed? Or has it all been covered and it's finished with? Blank faces. Come on, you Broxton councillors, you must know something.
Yes, David?
I don't really quite understand the question about has it all been covered. Do you mean are people now able to pay the rents?
Yes, sorry David, yes.
Right. I have to say, in all honesty, whether they can or not, they've been given an edict by Broxton Borough Council that this is what you have to do, like it or lump it.
Yeah.
And we asked for the machine to come in here. We asked for other ways that they could pay. People obviously threatened to say, I'm holding back my money, come and collect it every day or every so many weeks, would kick me out and I'll have to go with cash. The consensus from the leading group was, that's what's going to be, that's what it's going to have to be. You know, there isn't no
Can I have
leeway
about all these
for
people coming to the office?
whomever is due to
Can I have
decide.
about all these people coming through the letters?
So the answer is, I don't really know.
No.
Now,
I just wondered if there was anybody.
They have to work within the given lines of what the majority party decided in
Yeah.
Gloucester.
I just wondered if there was anybody who couldn't pay except by what you've just said, keeping the cash till the bailiffs come.
Maybe there is.
But you don't know.
It's a question I'll ask, actually. Well, I may ask Josie to ask the question because after tonight I'm away for a fortnight, so I wouldn't want to take a fortnight to give you the answer. So we may ask Josie to ask that question for who, if anybody, has been bypassed by this system of thou shalt do as I tell you.
yes, Ken.
I think the only way is to do a survey in Eastwood and ask people, I've paid the rent and I haven't paid the rent, or I'm paying it or aren't there. And
You don't
I don't
know.
You don't have to do a survey.
No.
You don't know from how many people have paid.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to ask the question.
We don't know.
Yes, Bob.
Oh, this is anecdotal evidence rather than full evidence. I've been in these offices doing other stuff over the last week and even before the fortnight I've been away, and the number of people that are coming to the door
No, I was just going to say
and asking that
Yep.
question, and we're having to direct them to the post office or to Broxton, to Beeston. But we do say that the post office will accept it, but there is a charge.
And the CAB,
And see
Yeah.
because that's the instructions from Broxton at this point.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody else?
I've handed a question in, sir.
You've handed a question in, sir.
I didn't know when the meeting was, so I put it in at the beginning of the month.
Right, Bob.
The main gist of that is whether the centre's going to be named or not. I'll answer it in a 2-letter word, and the answer is no. At this point of time, the answer is no. We're going to go on and run the centre for some time and build it up. He's wishing that the centre be named.
This place, you mean?
This centre, at the present moment, it is named. It's called the
Town Council.
Town Council offices, and it's carrying on in that basis. So the answer to your questions is no.
What was this?
He wished it to be named after the Hayes Braithwaite.
Right. That to me seems a decent proposal for if we're just going to say one room is the Hazel Braithwaite room, it's still the Eastwood Town Council officers. She does such a lot for this community, being the mayor on numerous occasions and working damn hard for the community. I think that's a relevant question to ask. And, I don't think I can dismiss it as saying the simple answer. Well, yeah, the simple answer is no. but to me, you could have just said, this is the Hazel Braithwaite community room, the rest is these town council officers. You know, I think that would have been nice to have known the people around Eastwood that we do have some recognition of people that work darn hard on this council for the community.
Sir, can I ask the question, when we put something in to the council, do we not now read it out? If somebody puts a document into the clerk, isn't it read out? Does somebody just say, picks odd things out of it and says, well, no, we're not bothered with that? That wasn't the full question. Now, are we getting to a council? Are we now being councillors for the people, or are we being dictators?
No. The answer is you have your answer, and you've asked it privately, and I told you no at that point, because at this time we're trying to concentrate on getting the rest of the building done. I don't want to be sidetracked at this point in time. And if somebody wishes to put it to the vote, they can, but my mind's made up.
You only one, sir.
No, I'll put it to the vote then.
Put it to the
No,
vote.
I want. Can you read out what I put in that council?
Makes no difference.
Please?
Read it out.
Is that the procedure or not?
Read it out.
Can you answer me the question?
Calm down, Brian.
Okay.
Well, thank you, sir.
Do we need to read that?
Not doing this on-
I'll formally move that the centre be named as Hazel Braithwaite purely to get the question answered fully by the council. Is there a seconder for that?
I'll second it.
Shall we move to the vote?
Yeah.
Can I just say, Mr Mayor, please, that Hazel Braithwaite was instrumental in getting the building down the corner for us. And that's where the money came from to help
Yeah.
pay for this place. And I do feel that she needs some recognition for that. Instrumental in getting that place going and sorting the finances, everything out. And at the end of the day, as I say, the money from that helped pay for this.
I do actually pay tribute to Hazel Braithwaite every time I show people round this building with the letters pattern, because it was down to her that we are called a town and not a parish council, and that we have a mayor. And that's part of the history of this council, and I pay tribute every time to Hazel Braithwaite when I'm showing people around this building. So it's not taking anything from Hazel Braithwaite, it's just a practicality at the moment. I've moved it, it's been seconded.
Just before we go ahead on that, it said it was a private question or a private questionnaire. In the past, and it came from
Brian?
Mr. Fred, oh, sorry, Brian, for my name, that when we had questions that were put earlier for this town, we would all receive a copy. Maybe I haven't got a copy. Maybe my PC's on the link. But we normally had that circulated to all councils. In fact,
I didn't actually have a copy, it was what I showed to you.
In fact, Ken, to his horror, was accused of not doing that. So he answered on his own many times ago, and that blew up to say every written message that comes from the public should be circulated to ourselves, as it happened.
I'll alliterate that because when all this came up before, I got a right roasting for it, that the letters weren't circulated to councillors, and it was assured that in the future all letters that come into the council should be circulated to all the councillors, and that happened twice while I was the mayor. And some say I got a right roasting over it, as everybody knows. And it was assured that every time a letter does come into the council, that it is circulated to all councillors before the meeting.
But as far as I'm concerned over this issue, no, we haven't done that. I don't believe. Oh, Chris, no. But at the same time, this has been brought up in previous meetings and has been given the answer in previous meetings. That it's not going to change.
The question is, why hasn't this memo, letter, whatever it is, been circulated to all councillors? Because that's what has been agreed to happen. Suddenly, it's not happening. Who makes that decision not to send it round?
Not me.
Oh, right. One with his head down by the fortress.
I don't know.
But this was agreed. It was agreed when I was a mayor that it would never happen again. And I assured Mr. Fretwell at the time, and we actually did that at the time. Then every letter that came in was circulated to all councillors to be read before any meetings.
Okay, that
we say it's not happened.
If it's not happened, Chris can send it.
And we say it needs to be
Can lay on the table till next meeting, or we can vote now, whichever
Needs to be
people
read.
want.
Needs to be rectified, don't it?
Yeah, we'll have to do it.
But I would put one plea that at the next town council meeting that it is then addressed as an agenda item without further comment.
There was more than one question on there, sir.
Well, and that's why we haven't got it. That's why we don't know what's in it. I mean, you're saying there's more than one question. We don't know that. That's why it should have come out to
You're
us.
going to get a copy of your letter, and they're about to read it. So they're about to look at all the questions, instead of you getting all wound up.
Okay.
Stays on the table then. Shall we move to the next question from public?
Any more from the public?
No, I think we've had it about mate.
Update on Town Hall.
Well, that won't happen then.
Well, this is because of IT problems, and we have had a huge problem with IT over the last fortnight, 3 weeks. We failed to get out in due time last week the hauling notices because it just wasn't physically able to get it done in time inside the deadlines for the 3 working days. But we all know what the working rules are, so we had to put it off 1 day. So it's tomorrow morning, the meeting. It is a public meeting, all's welcome, it's 10 o'clock.
What was the problem? Because it's found, I mean, I'd love to have attended that
Yeah.
because I'm on that panel. And it means now, because I'm up in the air flying
Right.
away, I won't be able to attend, which I'm not.
Yeah.
What was...
I can take a few minutes to give you.
I was
the
a
lowdown.
lady, we've got typists, we've got all sorts of staff now.
Can I give you the events that led up to this? And it's squarely down, and I'm going to name our contractors, Virgin. I'm very displeased with them. The job was on, off, and we was told that the absolute drop dead date was the last day of May. The absolute drop dead date. We had to have working telephone lines and computer lines for the 1st of June. 1st of June came
If you
along
want to talk about it.
and we got nothing. Then we were suddenly told, yes, we could have a fibre connection, that's their fibre, from their cable system. So in the following couple of days, several of us dug the trench across our property in order for the fibre to go in. To be done the following Monday, we thought installation. Never happened. I then went away on holiday and I said I'd come back, and still didn't happen. And it was last Friday
Yes.
that eventually they put in a broadband connection and a temporary phone line. They have not to this date ported the telephone line, our present phone line, over, so we're running on a temporary phone number. At which point we thought, oh fine, we got I22 in on the Monday. They built the system up because we work on fixed IP addresses. It's not just a simple setup. They set it all up. Tuesday, broadband goes down. Virgin inform us that we've got to do a factory reset, which we dutifully do, and after about 6 hours we get the broadband back up, but then nothing's working because the IP address has changed. Then we had to get IT2 back in on site for them to set it up, and the final straw was on Friday, the temporary phone line that went down on Friday. We couldn't make calls in or out on that. We thought at that point it was the first moves in the porting of the number over, because there always is a period of time when the phone line goes down. That wasn't the case, because we come this morning and still it hadn't been ported. We've now escalated it, and as of now we've got a temporary line in, but and without testing the system properly. This was at 7 o'clock, just before 7 I found out. I'll be doing this tomorrow morning at 8:30, finding out whether we can actually make outgoing lines. But the old number is not working now, because our old officers have been leased out, and anybody who needs the number temporary, the line that isn't to do with Virgin, because there's a second phone line into the building that's working, is 719415. But we've spent the last 3 or 4 weeks on the end of a phone line to Virgin Help Desk, which hasn't helped very much, other than wasting a lot of time of our officers to actually be on the end of the phone line on mobiles because we've had to use mobiles. We've already informed them we will be seeking compensation because there's quite a bit of out-of-pocket expenses because people are only been on the phone for an hour, 2 hours on the mobile on a charge number.
Well, I have to say that really is a sad story. Couldn't have wrote it better. And Virgin are obviously to blame. But my whole point is, after listening to that, did the typewriter not work? Did the printer not work?
No.
Couldn't we got into
No, because the network inside the building was down because the server could not see the PCs because they got the wrong IP addresses in. If you lose the outside world and they reboot the outside world rather than just switch it off, it causes a lot of problems internally. At one point we couldn't even use the printer other than to duplicate it internally. Some of the work for this council meeting, at one point we was going to have to use my laptop and my mobile phone to get out of the building.
You could use mine. I can't have to use mine.
So, but then thanks go to IT2, who come out and managed to sort the situation. But he's had to do an awful lot of work, and there was none of the faults was to do with our IT, it was all to do with the external world.
Is this why the payment schedules are 3 months behind?
No, it's the first meeting why the payment schedule was 3 months behind. If we go to the first full council,
We've got March and we've got nothing else, and we should be able to see what's being spent.
Yeah, but they come in April, don't forget.
April was the meeting of the town, so we didn't have one.
No, we should have had 3 tonight.
we have got 3 tonight.
I've
got 3.
One.
Should have March, April, May.
They're back and front.
Well, just clarify, because
this is
I'm sort of just switching off subject.
I haven't seen it.
Does that mean that in the future, at any ad hoc time, if Virgin goes down, that we're going to be deprived of
No,
of
what they've been
information?
told, our staff now know that the factory reset button is not to be pressed by our staff. If it comes to that, we have to get IT2 here to press it so they can then rebuild the system, because it is a full system rebuild if they can't get out. It will not be, the button will not be pressed again, the reset button. But you follow the help desk. When the help desk says press this button, you normally follow the help desk's instructions.
Yes, of course.
But we've now found that that is the last thing in the world you want to do, because it.
Yeah. That's a fair comment. I'm going to leave it at that. I just hope the help desk never has a wrong to press the button.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Okay.
Police update, Chris.
I'm very sorry, but there's no police here today. We've been in touch with them. Sergeant Brown is on holiday, and the inspector is actually on football duty tonight, and so nobody else could come. And we gave them ample warning for the meeting.
And apparently there's an incident on Don't Tom. Isn't there, David?
There is, yes.
In the book is.
What? Sorry, Ken?
There's an incident in the book is at Don't Tom. And they're all up there.
Right. Planning update.
To note the report.
Vacancy of the town councillor.
I wish to follow the process that we've followed in the past when we was in control in 2007 by picking the next council person down on the ballot paper. I would formally move that we move to co-opt Andrea Popson. Is there any middle name, Chris, you was going to find out for me?
Yeah, I didn't make any contact. I've tried.
Well, there's a nomination form I thought you'd look at last year.
Oh, sorry. I can go back and have a look in the file.
Yes,
Anyway,
indeed.
I'll formally move that to look for someone to second that. It's a process that we've done in the past, regardless of party.
Yeah.
I'll second that because
second.
Dave's got a
Yes, David.
Yeah, I'm going to strongly object to that, even though it's a process that we've done in the past. This lady actually accused myself and Milan Radulovic of accepting bribes in brown envelopes. And it's not finished yet, by the way. It's an ongoing thing that will gather momentum. She told a deliberate lie about me as a councillor, and I presume Milan Radulovic, who took up the case and we're well into, I'm not going to tell you how far we're going to go. It's going to go as far as we can possibly take it, because we can't have somebody besmirching, particularly my name or his name, through saying that we're accepting bribes. So I will definitely, abhorrently disagree with that proposal. And in fact, because it's a casual vacancy, and I've never seen her, by the way, sitting in this public gallery to show any interest in this council. Maybe I don't recognise her. But to me, because it's a casual vacancy, it ought to be a Labour vacancy. And I would like to say that Pat Hamilton, who is always here, always does a good contribution, should be co-opted onto this council as a Labour councillor.
Well, proposal's been put forward and it's been seconded. Yes, Charlie?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree with what David said, and I remember going back now a few years to when June Yeomans was co-opted onto this council. It was a Labour vacancy then, and the Dems gave it to the Labour Party.
Yes, the next one down the list.
That system should continue. It was a Labour member that, I won't say absconded, but yeah, it'll do. But it should go to the next Labour person on the list. And quite honestly, as David said, Pat sat at the back of this place every meeting, and a young lady we've never seen. I do feel that in the cause of democracy, and you call yourselves Liberal Democrats, although I don't think you know what democracy means, I do feel that you should go to the next Labour person on the list. It was a Labour member that went off, and at the end of the day, the people of this town have voted for a Labour member for that vacancy, not voted for another Lib Dem to increase their foothold in the town. Now let's be honest, you've got a 9-6 majority as it is. Absolutely. And so I don't know why you want anyone else on
Josie.
And I think we ought to keep it a little bit more balanced, because at the end of the day, what you're going to do is just jackboot your way through everything that comes before us. Debate will go out of the window, and so will democracy if it's not already gone out of the window. And therefore, I would like to move that we replace the lady that left with Mr. Pat Hamilton.
Here we go.
Yes, Josie?
First of all, I take exception to what Councillor Ross said about democracy. And if he can cast his mind back to how undemocratic this group are, not once but twice did we agree to co-option, and we followed this exact process. The next person on the list of votes in that ward. I think we're being fair and democratic. This young lady is not here to defend herself. with all respect, Councillor Bagshaw, it might be true what you're saying, but she's not here to defend herself.
It not might be true, it is true.
But she's worked with the neighbourhood planning, and she's put some work into that. Nobody else has. And she's willing to work. And I think she's a good lady.
How many times has she attended these meetings?
Why do they have to meet? Why do they have to attend meetings?
Unless they're councillor.
She cares about the
Show
town.
interest.
She cares about the town, but she knows what entertainment it is. Probably if you've got any sense, you stay away. Anyway.
Yeah, but
Yes,
Mr.
Bob.
Mayor,
Yes, Bob.
I think I'll close the debate.
Oh,
Right.
thank you.
Yes, Ken.
I know when I was campaigning, I met the lady, and I'll tell you what, the amount of stick I got off that lady was unreal. Absolutely unreal. I got all the accusations, I got all the accusing, I got everything. I mean, I come away with earache, to tell you honest truth. In fact, I couldn't get away. She more or less cornered me, you know. It's like, how dare you come up here and this, that and the other, you know. So, yeah, I've met the lady, and she is very aggressive. And I don't like to see her on the council, to tell you honest truth. I mean, no disrespect to her, but I don't like to see it.
Yes, Charlie.
yeah, Mr. Mayor, when the late June Yeomans joined this council, it was to replace a Labour vacancy. And at that time, I was a member of the Lib Dems. I was leader of the Lib
And you
Dems.
didn't want a lady on.
I wasn't happy with the lady, and that's a personal view. It's something very private that goes back to many years ago when I had a lady running with me for a council seat who actually went around telling people not to vote for me but to vote for the independent. And that's why that is. But we gave it to the Labour Party, and June was picked. Everybody agreed. I got on with June quite well, so I see no problem with that. Although I used to keep calling her in phone, I don't know why. And I do feel that we should follow that order, in as much as it's a Labour vacancy for a Labour seat. And therefore, I do feel that we've got to be working along those lines, rather than just, I mean, if we were to all walk off tomorrow, we'd have 15 Lib Dems on the council. Nobody would get looking. And I do feel that for proper balance, we need a Labour member back again to not overrun the other side, because there's no way we're going to. There's no way we're going to. But that's the way it's worked in the past, and it should work now.
Yes, Bob.
I'll finish off. Sorry about this bleeping. The situation is that last time we offered it to the next person down on the ballot paper, regardless of whether it was a Labour member, a Lib Dem member or independent or whatever. This ward, if Andrea Poxon doesn't sign, the next person down, and I will be proposing this, would be Millen, because he is the next one down on the ballot paper. This has nothing to do whether it's Lib Dem, Labour or whatever. It's the next one down on that ward's ballot paper. We did that in Eastwood South in the past, and we intend to carry on doing it that way. It's the order that the general public have already set. We're not changing the order. The general public have already done this through ballot. It's not our choice, it's what the general public have said, and that is democracy.
Right.
So I think we all should go to the vote.
Right. Okay, I don't disagree. All in favour?
Well, you didn't amend it first, don't you? Mr.
Why?
Mayor?
Who's made
The
amendment?
amendment.
Sorry.
that Pat
Didn't
Hamilton-
realise it was an
Pat
amendment.
Hamilton,
I thought that was just a conversation.
There was a second one.
What was there?
Yes.
Did you get who seconded it? Charlie. Right. All for the motion. Go on. Amendment.
Amendment.
Please. those for
The amendment.
for the amendment.
You say to co-op Pat Hamilton, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, that's right, yeah. Against?
Those against. Abstentions. Right.
The motion, yeah.
The motion for Andrea Poxon to be co-opted on. For.
Six.
Against.
Abstentions.
Abstentions.
2. So Andrea Poxon will be the co-opted member.
Yes. Appointment of additional
Can you
signatures.
say that again, please?
Oh, certainly. And Andrea
Can't hear you
Poxon.
down this end of the table.
I'm very sorry, Councillor. Andrea Poxon will be the co-opted member. The voting was for the amendment. It was 4 for, 7 against, and 1 abstention. And the motion for the motion was 6 for, 4 against, and 2 abstentions.
Can I just add my congratulations to that for all the Lib Dems that voted for her, and can I congratulate them for co-opting a lady that tells deliberate lies.
Right. Appointment of additional signatures.
To my knowledge, unless while I've been away, I've been wrong, no body's come forward for additional signatures. Therefore, for the good working in the office, we do need to have additional signature. I therefore formally propose that the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Towns, be added to the signature list.
I'll second that.
Noted.
Noted.
Right.
All in favour?
All in favour? Anyone against?
Unanimous.
Anyone
Anyone against?
Abstentions?
Abstentions?
Do you want me to keep up on the number?
Yes.
As we've said in the past, that we intended having a public open days rather than a formal big wigs coming to view the centre. Therefore, on Thursday and Friday of this week,
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday of this week, from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock, anyone can come along, have a look round the town hall, come and have a cup of tea with us and a biscuit. We'd rather do it that way than having a formal thing with big wigs. This place is for the people of Eastwood, so I'd rather have the people of Eastwood come round and have a look for themselves.
Yes, Chris.
Could we also have some support from the councillors for meet and greet, please, if that's possible? Some councillors to come along.
Any comments? Pentridge, update, please.
We had a meeting with the committee from the Pentridge and South Wingfield Revolution Group. It's some time ago now, but with all the various meetings, it's been the first regular meeting. This is the first time we've had a chance to come back to you about it. They told us all about their plans for next year, so commemorating the Pentridge Revolution. They're very, very well organised. They've got all kinds of exciting ideas about the way that they're going to commemorate it. They're very keen to draw parallels with modern issues such as the importance of voting, the use of undercover agitators to provoke criminal actions, and so they're very much, it's not just a historical commemoration, it's meant as something that's educational and informative for the modern world as well.
It's also going to be a long-term thing. I think they're going to have permanent information boards that they're going to be putting around. I think Outside the Sun was one of the places they mentioned where there was going to be some kind of permanent.
Yeah, they want it very much to have a legacy. So an information board outside the Sun Inn is one of the major things they wanted. The focal point is going to be a series of guided walks along the route that the revolutionaries took before they were arrested at Giltbrook. But there's going to be exhibitions, talks, school workshops. It's quite an extensive programme they've got planned. So in terms of what they wanted from us as a council, they gave us 6 points to consider, and these I can email them out to everybody if you want longer to think about them, but I wanted to just raise them now. The first thing they asked for is an official offer of support as the local council, and more specifically a formal letter of support in their Heritage Lottery Fund bid. The second thing they asked for is help to identify possible local sponsors for a contribution towards costs of the guided walk brochures, which are currently being drawn up for the local walks. They asked for our support in the siting of an orientation board in Eastwood, and as you say, they said outside of the Sun Inn, which will identify the involvement of the community in the events. It will be text, pictures, and a map of the walk route. Number 4, they asked for a financial contribution for the siting of the boards, the planning costs, and a maintenance plan for the first 5 years of having one of these boards, which could feasibly be included in their Heritage Lottery Fund bid. So that's something I think we'd have to talk about with them. Any contribution from us would be included as match funding in their bid. They asked for support with their plans to hold an exhibition in Eastwood, and help from us to suggest appropriate venues for an exhibition within Eastwood. And they asked if we would be able to provide publicity, assist in networking to advertise and involve residents in the walks and the exhibition, so help identifying ramblers groups, community organisations, etc. So that's sort of what they're looking for from us. And that's as far as we've got at the moment, because obviously we wanted to come and bring that to you before we talk to them any further. So.
Yes, Bob.
As regards the first item was the first 2 items.
Yeah, the first one was the official offer of support and the letter.
And the letter, I think we could do that tonight. I don't think that's anything controversial at all. As regards the rest, I think we need to work up plans and find out what finance this costs. But as regards the top 2, I think we can do that, and I'd like to formally move that tonight, that this council supports the celebrations of 200 years of the Pentrick Revolution. You're putting it a bit mild that they got arrested.
Well, later.
It was local militia came out and collared them. It was before the police force.
Yes, Charlie.
I would formally like to move that.
Yep.
Can I just ask if they made any reference to Giles Brandreth, who claims to be a descendant of the guy that was the leader of the revolution?
Yes.
It's not
directly.
I don't think he is a direct descendant, but he claims to be.
They did mention it.
It might help if they got him down to do something on the day one.
I wouldn't be surprised if
they
they
walked for 20 miles from Pentrick to Guildford.
Yes, they did seem to have everything covered, so I think if it was feasible they probably would have asked.
Yeah.
So they were incredibly well organised.
So I formally move that this council supports the Pentrick group and also sends a letter of such support to go in the lottery funding. I formally move that. Is it second?
All in favour?
The other items, are you all going to work them up for the next council meeting? Or?
Yes, we'll go back to them and say that we officially support them, which I think was the first thing they were looking for, and obviously they need to get the HLF bid underway, so that will be the next step.
And as regards the location for an exhibition, you don't have to look very far.
Yeah. So we'll go back and talk to them about those other items and come back and arrange another meeting. Yeah.
Is that it then? Yep. Town clerk's update.
Right. First of all, there's at long last, I'm happy to say that we've now got the land registry sorted out for the car park at the Dovecote Road Recreation Ground. There have been problems in the recreation ground, in the in the allotment at Dovecote Road. There have been problems with that car park where people have been parking it who've got nothing to do with the allotment. And so I've also put into the report the possibility of a purchase of a sign so that we could actually make it quite clear to the public that this is a private car park. And I just really wanted to know what council thought about the idea.
Yes, Ken.
Yeah, I'll support that. They need to sign up because I went up there on Saturday and as I was there was people coming in, there was parking and there was an Eastwood shopping down on Hilltop shopping. And it was the same on the Sunday. I mean, no disrespect to churchgoers, but one or two of them was parked there as well. Because you know, Sunday morning was solid with churchgoers, no disrespect to them, but they was parked in that area as well. And which I had a word with a couple on again. So yeah, the Catholic Church. Yeah, they are parking there and it needs to be stopped because a lot of the allotment holders now are parking on the road at the side there.
That's right.
So, and on the pavement. So yeah, it needs signs up. And I'll support that.
Yes, David?
Yeah, I've got to give my support to that. The other night, I was the last off. I'm the guy that has to lock up the switch the lights off. As I got outside, there's a car in the car park. So I thought, somebody's still down. And you don't know now what's happening. So I had to unlock, walk right back down to the other end, have a look, see if anybody's down there. Absolutely nobody down there at all. It was somebody from across the road that was part of the car there, which I didn't know. So we do need something to tell people that this is now a private area. But our main concern is we put a nice notice up saying this car park is for allotment holders only, etc. Whatever you put up. How do you police it?
Yeah. Chris,
and what weight does it carry in law?
No. Well, it's a private car park, that's the problem, isn't it? It's a private car park, so if we're going to police it, we'd have to police it ourselves. We wouldn't get the police doing it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can put as many mentions up as you like, but how?
No.
How do you do I go and knock on someone's window and say, oh,
no.
Well, do we have letters that can we put behind the windscreen saying, the park it is, private car park?
And then again, having said that, how do we know it's not an allotment holder or somebody else
no.
that's parking there? You know,
no.
you don't know.
Yeah.
The only way you do
we
that.
We don't know everybody's car. It's from the allotment. We don't know everybody's
the
car.
only way you go to do that is have something in the window saying that you're allotment holder.
Yeah.
That's the way of doing that.
Yeah.
Well, you just have to have something that says parking permit.
Yeah.
Parking permit.
If we do that, and it works, can we make sure that the allotment holders park in there and not on the street? Because some of the people do park on the street, and that is very annoying if you need to go to somebody's house because you can't pull up because the allotment people are all on the road.
Can I say
That's a
something on
fact.
that one?
The problem is that we have that many allotmenteers now that come in the cars who are enthusiastic, and we need to encourage them to keep doing it. And unfortunately, at times, you have to park on the road. Now, there's no restrictions for parking on the road.
No, there isn't, but you could use a bit of common sense. You don't park opposite somebody's drive, do you? You wouldn't like it if somebody parked immediately opposite your drive, would you? And you couldn't get in and out of your
But
car.
there's nothing I can do about it if it's illegal parking. If it's illegal or obstruction, then I'd get the police involved. Watch what they do. Probably they
Doesn't do anything. I've just made it as a comment.
And let's make the comment that there's two bungalows on there that have access through this new private car park, which then takes up at least two spaces where we can't use. Those bungalows either side.
They've got to rearrange
Access their garages and
Have you got any prices?
So
I think there's only one.
And go out.
I think there's only one that uses it.
I think basically, I mean, they're using them, their entrance ways to there. garages there, which you're not supposed to, but we allow that.
Oh, I think
We've always allowed it.
I think you've not stopped it inside 7 years. So now you can stop them.
One guy said it's written into my deeds that I can use it, so I don't believe it. If it is, it's used it for years upon years while I've been up there, so we wouldn't be able to stop it now, and that's not a problem. If it became a problem, what you'd have to say is, would you move your car out at the beginning of the day, park it in front of your house, and bring it back into an evening? That's one way of doing it, but we don't antagonise the guys. It doesn't cause a problem, it just restricts our parking facility.
Yes, Josie?
Is there money in the allotment fund? Is that where the costs would come from?
Yeah.
And if not, where would we get the money from? It's not being budgeted.
From an allotment point of view, it would just go overspend, but we should recover money back because of the increases that we're putting on next year. So we'll get some of the money back, but it will just be over a period of time. It's like removal of the asbestos. Again, that's a cost, but all these things are for the benefit of the allotment holders, and that's why we want to increase the costs, the rental.
Chris?
Can we have an agreement then we can purchase one of these notice boards? I've given you two costs there. It doesn't include the erection of it. I did speak to Councillor Towles. He is prepared to work with Councillor Woodhead to the possibility of actually putting it into the ground. But these will be the costs. And of course you take off the VAT figure.
I think this has been a long running situation, and I think, to be honest, that they've got rolled, it needs to be done with a notice. Take the point of who's going to police it, but at least we've then tried. And then if you do have a notice that it is permit holders parking only,
there's no deterrent. The notice is the deterrent.
That's all. And that's all I'm saying. Because to take them to court or whatever would be far too costly.
Oh yeah.
But at least we should do the bit of detailing we can do, and that's the sign. So I'll move that we go ahead with the cheaper of the two
quote,
which is £325.
All in favour?
Who's seconded it?
I'll second it.
Anybody against?
Anyone against?
No. Unanimous.
You did. The sign will be erected by.
I've just pointed that out now, so while you're out.
Next one.
Right, Councillor Woodhead has recently carried out a survey, inspection. You've got a list there of some of the sites that were looked at. Letters have gone out to the various people involved, and we hope that action will be taken now for them to actually tidy up their allotment plots. And one or two of them we have got one or two issues with, and one is actually a gentleman that really needs to be. He has to be looked after. He's got autism, and we have to make sure. We'll have to talk to his mother about that one and see if we can find a solution to the problem. But the rest of them, they've just had a straightforward letter asking them to tidy their sites up as soon as possible. I would also like to thank Councillor Woodhead. He's recently gone into the sites and tidied up a lot, done some tidying up of some of the more serious problems to make sure that they are tidy. I know he's done Councillor Baxter. I know he's done plot 26A for you. 26B. That's been tidied up, and we've also now got somebody on that plot. And 26A, they've had a letter telling them they've got to get that plot tidy. So I think that was one of your major sites, wasn't it, you were talking about?
Yeah, and probably I ought to have notification of Robin. I may say that because people were constantly coming up to me, I'm digging away, and they keep walking down my garden and saying, can you go look at plot 26? Can you go look at plot 40?
45.
45, thank you.
Yeah.
45.
That's the one with the learning difficulties, councillor.
Huh?
That's the one with the learning difficulties.
Now,
We're going to meet the parent, his mother.
we need to encourage this young lad.
Yes.
We don't need to...
We've got to do it carefully.
Get him
Yeah.
off. We need to
Exactly.
make sure that somehow or other that he can continue
Exactly.
with his allotment.
Yeah.
And I'll come on to the next one again for lobbying. I think it's plot 40 probably.
38, you think, the one you were talking about? 38.
Thank you very much. Yeah, plot 38 with the asbestos. Is that right?
It's the one with it. He has mainly wood on the site, and he does lot of just digging little holes in. He's not doing a very good job to the plot. Yeah.
Ooh.
We call it steptoe.
I'm not as far as I know. It's Jack McHenry's old site, and a guy came walking down my allotment.
Right.
Again, if I'm jumping the gun,
I think it is plot 38.
He's got an asbestos shed, which
Oh,
is
right.
an old type of garage that you used to have outside of your house.
I'll have to check that.
Someone else had took it down and made it into a shed. He won't go in it, quite rightly. He doesn't want to put things in it, and he hopes that we, being a good, caring council, will remove it for him. Well, I think there's some behind my shed that somebody's done.
I'm trying to sort that one out, trying to resolve that one.
Yeah.
Yes, Ken.
I actually trimmed them on Saturday, you know, the one with learning difficulties, I trimmed them. And a couple of weeks ago I was down there, and I don't know whether it's his carer or not, because there was 3 on the plot at the time. I spoke to him, and I said to him, well, what's going on? Like, are we tidying up, or are we going to get tidied up? He said, well, I keep telling him to come down every day, and he keeps telling me he's coming down every day, and we know he don't come down at all. He's not turning up, and he keeps telling us he does. I said, well, can you sort something out and try and get it tidied up? He said, well, I'll try my best, but I'm not always here with him. You know, I've got other things to do as well. So I says, well, it needs sorting out, you know. We need to have a meeting with yourself, his mum, and the individual, you know, and try and talk him through it and try and sort something out and resolve it. But it is actually in conflict with next door as well. That's, what's his name? Warren.
Warren, yes.
With Warren as well. I mean, Warren's got learning difficulties as well. I mean, he you know, he's struggles.
Yeah.
He does his bottom end of his garden, but the top end is a right complete mess. I had a word with him as well about tidying up, getting the paths done and cleared up. And he assured me he'd have a go at that. But then he turned his conflict over to the next door to him, you see. And there was arguing between themselves. One had pinched his pallet and he'd pinched his pallet and whatever, you know. So we had a conflict there. But when I was up on Saturday, I actually trimmed that, and I trimmed the path as well, and so far Warren's allotment as well. But I'll keep an eye on that, and if it needs doing again, then I'll do it again. And I'll help these learning difficult people out. But we need to have a meeting with his mother and the carers and try and resolve them.
That's right.
Try and resolve something on it.
Did you say 26B or 26A has been taken over?
26B, the
right.
one at the front.
Yes. The problem is with strimming, it makes it look nice, but someone has to come and they have to sort it out because it's full of twitch and God knows whatever.
Right.
Do we then as a council, because we've adopted this policy, take a bond from these people?
We do.
We do?
Yeah.
Right. If they find, and it's going to be a very, very hard task, if we find that after 2 months, she said, sorry mate, I can't do this, because the other day was there, and he was there with a kiddie and her husband, and he said, we're off to the park. And it's literally left her to it. It's going to be a mammoth task for her to do. Would, if she went after 2 months, just talking hypothetically, would we then keep the bond? Because we've given her a plot that is in no way a good plot. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work. I don't know really why we had a bond on that, because somebody's actually put a lot of graft in to get that there. We've given them a plot that really is, well, damn hard work, and without some back-breaking exercises, you ain't going to do it. And I can see it quite clearly beating people. And I don't think that we ought to have the right then to say, well, that's just cost you 50 quid. It's because it is a mammoth task you've set people. Can we not get somewhere or other to, when we hand allotments over, where they are at least semi-cultivated, semi-rotivated? The problem when they get to that stage is we just break the twitch and everything up, but at least it would allow them to dig easily. And I'm speaking from practice, because my plot was a bit overrun, but it's now
looking good.
Again on
Isn't that something that you're looking into anyway, Ken?
So we need to please take note that it's easy to say you put a £50 bond down. You can't do it. Well, unfortunately, we're going to take £50 off you. We're going to keep you 50 quid. The person that's left it, I'm sure didn't leave a £50 bond, and they left it in a state where, as I say, it is a giant task for people who have not done gardening to do it, and I think they're being pretty unfair.
Basically, I would hope that every case of a bond being returned will be taken on an individual case-by-case decision. There should not be a blanket, no, it's still in a bad state. Well, as I'm saying, every case should be judged on its own merits.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that our office can do that as a case, but not to do it as a blanket one.
No.
What I have said is, and what I do disagree with, is same as David says, that plot is a complete mess. It's going to take a lot to get them together. I'm hoping that when we've got vacant plots like that we're rotivating before we're letting.
Yeah.
So at least we can get some sort of a start. And I've also pointed out that, okay, fine, we're charging rent for that plot. That plot is not going to grow a deal this season. They're not going to be able to set a lot this season at all. And I think we should have waived that rent this year. Because it's going to take a lot to do it. It's going to take a lot of hard work digging that and getting it ready, prepared for setting. And then she's not going to set a deal amount. And I think it's totally unfair that we charge a rent for the first year. We should give them at least a year to get it prepared, dug over and ready for setting, or to get it set. Because she's not going to do nothing. She's not getting any benefit from it at all. And I think we should give them rent free. If a plot's like that, and it's in a state, then we should look and consider that. If it's all right when they take allotment over, and it's not too bad, okay, fine. I've got no problem with charging rent. But when it's in a bad state like that, I disagree with charging rent when it's as bad as that.
Yes, David.
The idea is good, but the problem with it is that we send you on the plot and say you've got 12 months without any rent to get your plot in some type of order, and they fail because it's too hard and too time consuming. All it is time consuming. Allotment is time consuming. If you can put the time in, you can get it right, even if you only dig a row a day. So somebody takes the plot, and as I say, within 2 months they say, sorry, you can't do that. So we put the next one in and say, you've got 12 months here, mate, to get it right, rent free. And they dig it for a month and say, bloody hell, no, not for me, mate. And then somebody else comes on. So that could go on as an item. So I think what Ken is saying to start with is, I think we have a responsibility to somehow make an allotment at least diggable. They're very hard at the moment, and dandelions, twigs, docks, God knows what. We need to help them in some way to make sure that we encourage them. We want them to be gardeners. We want them to keep coming down into our community, and I think that's the only way that we can do it. I'll hire you my rotivator if you want, or it will be on hire. It's expensive.
Right.
I don't think that's the way forward, though, myself personally.
Yeah.
I think we should look at an allotment before we let that allotment.
We should.
Assess the state of it, and if it's in a bad condition, yeah, then we should rotivate it, get something like, and then let the allotment go. At least it gives them a start, and at least then when they're digging, you know, you can sort the twitch out dead easy when you're digging. It's easier digging, isn't it? You know, it's not so bad. As it is now, it's just solid ground with weeds on. And to tell you, it's backbreaking. It really is backbreaking. So we should look at that. I mean, same as David says, you know, you're on it 2 months, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard. And eventually that plot's left there. Nobody wants it, nobody needs to, or you're losing rent altogether then for a couple of 3 years. You know, so you need to do these. You need to look after allotment holders and get one to it. Because there's a lot of people interested in allotments, and we need to encourage them. And if we don't encourage them to take allotments on, we're going to lose people. We're going to lose the allotments.
Chair, probably the last thing on this, the one overriding factor in all this is that we as a council let the allotment get into that state. You know, we're at fault because we let it get overgrown, we let it get 3 foot high in grass and God knows what. We need to be on it quicker so that people take it over, have a great chance of getting some produce out of it. And at the moment, hey, you know, I would say I want it, but I've done mine, and I don't mind speaking.
Let's in the future look into giving any new allotment holders a fighting chance.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And I've made the suggestion from the start that we should rotivate them before we consider letting the allotments.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've said that.
Move on to the next
The next item is asbestos removal. A year ago in June, we did have a company go around and give us some indication of what it will cost to remove the asbestos on Dovecote Road allotment. I've been back in touch with them, and they are prepared to keep to the price that was quoted a year ago. And we have discussed this, and we just need to make a decision. Is it now time to be able to go and do this job now? My one concern is that there's at least 2 sheds where we'd have to take the asbestos off the roof. How would we get around that problem in terms of that they would obviously have to put the roof back?
No, we don't.
Well, that's the question I'm asking, really, because
we'll get rid of it. The cost is to the council to get rid of the toxic material on the sites.
Yeah, but then it leaves no roof on the shed.
Well, the
allotment holders should make arrangements for that anyway.
Yeah.
Then we should notice sold.
Just one question, Mr. Mayor. It's this asbestos survey they did last year, Chris.
Yes.
Is that just for Dovecote Road?
Yes, that's where we had the problem.
Well, there's a lot on Dover Road as well.
Well, I understand that's now being found to be the case, but we didn't know that at the time, Councillor.
We'll have to get a proper survey and cost on that. We're going to cost.
Yeah, that's been brought to our attention since.
Somebody say I've got 6 big sheets on mine.
Yeah.
But at least let's do what we can do and get it done.
Yeah.
Can I formally move that quote be accepted and we get the Dovecote Road allotment cleared of asbestos? Where it isn't sheds, roofs, then it needs informing the allotment holder that the asbestos needs to be removed, and it's for them to.
Yeah.
Well, can we not get another quote for that, for the whole lot? It could be cheaper if we get it for the whole lot.
I wouldn't have thought so, because 2 separate sites, so your decontamination and all that sort of thing would be 2 separate items.
What about the old boy's shed?
Yeah, it's going to be included as well. You get all sheds in one go.
Righto, but let's try to get this done next.
Yeah.
In the July meeting, I would hope we'd be voting on this and actually getting it done this year. I don't want it going on and on and on.
But if we don't get it all removed in one go, then we're going to have another visit, aren't we, to get rid of the shed?
Yeah.
So can we do it all in one?
All in one and get it done this year.
Yeah.
You're talking about.
That's both sites a lot asbestos.
Thank you,
So
Councillor.
it is on the table until the July meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favour?
Thank you very much.
I'm afraid I won't be here on the July meeting.
Okay. The next one, there has been some issues regarding the mowing on the main driveways in the allotments. I have spoke to the contractor, and he did explain that the problem we've got is that we only allow 8 cuts a year. To be able to get to the standard that you require, you'd said you need at least 14 cuts. And so what he's done is give me a quote for what it would cost to do 14 cuts, and that would stop all this problem of the grass getting too high, and then when it's cut, it's leaving a lot of surplus grass. If you have it cut 14 times rather than 8 times, that's what he's saying will be the way to solve the problem.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
it wasn't necessarily that people were moaning about what they'd cut, it was how they'd cut it and where they didn't cut it. So as you go into Dovecote Road allotments and go down the main path and turn right, they cut that, but if you turn left, they didn't cut it.
Yeah. Oh. I did point that out.
And if you look at the side of the verges, particularly on the path that is the entrance exit path, on both sides, which you can easily get the mower to, they don't want to do it. And when they tell the guy, he is quite, well, it's not very nice. They just don't do what they're supposed to do. It is to mow it and the edges. And they say, oh well, people moan about grass going on the allotment. Ooh, grass does go on allotments. It will wither. It will go. You know, it's a 3 or 4 day thing. As long as we're getting the old job, the edges cut and the path cut, and that wasn't happening. There may be another alternative, but it's not really finalised yet, so I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah. I did speak, Councillor, to the contractor, spoke to the Managing Director, Mr Kent, and he did get them back to the site, so I hope
he did. Quite right, he did. Yeah. So we shouldn't have to do that, should he?
No. You're quite right, yeah.
I think it's that one of them sort of scenarios when you put blokes on jobs, just dash through it and do what they want to do.
Yeah. So they're
not really bothered.
Are we going to leave it as it is on the current contract, or are we going to consider increased mowing?
It really is not enough, to be quite honest, because in between the cuts, like your lawn at home, which you've got one, particularly in this weather, they're shooting up like one out. I think people would appreciate it if there was a few more cuts on it. I don't know what your cost, extra cost on that is, but I'm sure it will be appreciated by all allotment holders that use the path rather than going the feet and then go collect in this way.
Can I propose that we have a real good look at this, ready for the next year's contract, leave it as it is at this year, but as next year, before come back with firm proposals around the November meeting this year.
Sorry, one thing that just has come to my mind, when they actually mow, they don't put no carrier box on, so collecting box.
Yeah, well, I did ask about that.
Hang on.
So, Councillor.
Thank you. So, like you say, mind what length of grass, you just get grass all over the place. In actual fact, Felix, who has the first allotment as you go in on the left, has a darn great big compost box, and I mean it is massive, where they are quite happy and to be allowed to tip the grass that they collect. So there's no excuse for not putting a box on, say we've nowhere to tip it, top of the garden, yeah, there is a big box, tip it in there, thanks very much. We won't have sodden grass all over the place.
Well, I did ask on this, and they use triple mowers, and they don't have grass boxes for those. If you wanted grass boxes, they'd have to use the small hand mowers, and that would cost more money. That's what they told me.
Yeah, Ken.
Well, I have made a few suggestions how we can get around this and try and help on this situation. I've said, yeah, we'll carry on with the contract this year, and I made a suggestion that we buy a really good first-class mower with a box on, and I'm quite willing to go up either once a week or twice or once every fortnight and mow it with a box on. I ain't got a problem with that, and over the paths and everything. Once a fortnight or once a week if it's necessary. I don't mind doing that.
I think that
I
this is
think
what
we'll
I
save
meant.
money.
I think this is what I meant by we run this one out and bring proposals forward in the autumn and then get it done early and then it's in place for next growing season, whatever the decision is.
Yes, Tony.
Down at Moorgreen, that's what I'm saying, David, at the moment it is growing extremely a lot. We have a cut down at Moorgreen and every 2 weeks get the Broxton Council to come and cut our grass. Costing in the region of about £100. Because of the grass growing that quick, I've had to get my mower done, the gang mower, and I'm going to cut it. Every week they don't cut it, I'm going to cut it. So it's getting cut every week, that grass down there. Once the kids can't play football, so I accept what you're saying. We'll come back to the mower for you. We have a sit-on mower down there. We haven't a problem, Ken. If you've got a trailer, come and use that sit-on mower for your allotment at no cost.
Yeah, the sit-on mower, it's the only trailer, isn't it?
So, that's no cost.
I'm sure that could be sorted with the trailer or trailer or what's done as well.
Just a little sit-on.
Yeah.
Nice sit-on.
We're not going to cricket club. In fact, we just deferred a little bit, but what he's talking about for at the cricket ground, they come and cut the square every Tuesday, Broxton. You think, well, that's good, isn't it? They cut the square, they move the covers, they're not going back either, but they cut the square and then toddle off. But the game doesn't take place till Saturday, so from Tuesday till Saturday, right? It goes quite a bit. And I don't know why they. I'm asking them the question why they cut it on Tuesday. You know, so the lads have to go down. They've actually bought a mower because of this. It stops the ball running freely. You know, the rain comes on it and it holds it instead of going through. So there are things to consider, and I think that's a great proposal. I've got another one, but I'm not sure how good it is yet.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, the next item is, I've been asked to put this on the agenda, is about the possibility of obtaining a grant for an allotment community garden and a community shed. This was brought to our attention by Councillor Woodhead.
I think we're talking in Derby Road side, how you got your shack up. Duff did a similar thing down there.
Yeah.
The shack up at Newport, it's not just a shack up at Newport.
No, but I said a similar thing down at...
It was bequeathed to
yeah.
I think if you look at it, Derby Road has been neglected a lot, really neglected. And there's people down there who would love the shed down there for fertiliser seeds and whatever. They'd love one. The community one, what I thought was, we could set it up. We've got 5 allotments down there, it's not been taken at all. And we're going to struggle as long go, I do know that. And I thought if we could allow an half a plot in the beginning and motivate it, get some sort of decent, set it up for people like retirement people. And there's a lot of old age pensioners, a lot of old people that's moved out of their properties that had a garden and they moved into a flat or something like that, similar, and got nothing. And I thought it'd be a damn good idea if we could set a communal one up so we could get people down there doing the allotment, you know. And I think if you've got, 1 or 2 of them all mucking together, it's a meeting place, they'll all get on together, it's a communal thing, and they'll be able to do something, you know, and give some sort of interest. And I thought it'd be a good idea if we could set something up like that. And if we could get the grant, it'd be great, you know, we could set something up.
Can I propose that Ken, you work some proposals up for that and bring it to future council?
Yeah.
All right?
Right, the next item is the garden service update. This is the first cut. It's on to the second cut at the moment.
Can we note that before?
Yeah.
And thank our contractor for the work he does?
Yeah. Now we're going to the Millennium Crop. You want to...
Well, can I start with this first of all? We had the contractors back out. He explained what work needs to be done. To change a light bulb, it's a phenomenal amount of money. And there's no way that I'd be able to put that, I wouldn't want to put it to council for a decision. It's totally ridiculous having to totally remove the clock mechanism at the top in order to change a light bulb. Whoever designed that wants to up the back side. I'm trying to think of a way that we could actually, by accessing the bottom through the door, put a frame up the inside in order that we could raise and lower a suitable light so bulbs can be changed from ground level without having to take scaffolding the whole of the dials off to change the light. No one other than myself has actually noticed that the lights aren't working. We haven't had one Joe Public come in, and they haven't been working since probably October of last year. Right. All right, I'm corrected.
It was remembrance, yeah.
So I think we need to think how we can do this without spending an awful lot of money out, which is not justified. So I should write back to them and thank them. And I'm not very happy on the servicing. It's a mechanical service of the clock. There is an electrical box hanging free inside that could drop down into the bottom. It's in a horrible state. I would like probably, if it's a reasonable cost, to get our electrician there to actually put the mains box, fasten it to the inside case of the clock, out of the way of the water, and make the electrically safe inside. And also, if by which time we put a mechanism to raise and lower lights, they can then raise. I'm thinking of something like an LED strip light raised up inside.
Timer's not behind it.
No, it's not the time. The bulbs have gone.
Eh?
The bulbs have gone.
Oh, it says on here that it's the timer.
Well, the timer is up at the top, but it's. I'm saying we just remove all that wiring and leave it, and put something new in from the bottom.
I like my steel knowledge, but
Well, actually, check the actually voltage coming already out. So that's my proposal. That shouldn't actually be nothing like the cost. I'm talking a tenth of the cost.
The final item on...
I've all written that we don't do it.
Right.
All in agreement.
All in agreement.
Okay. Okay. The final item on Town Hall updates is the cleaning of the War Memorial. It's come to the point where it needs doing again. We did get a quote, but we're also very concerned about the cobbled area. But we have now proposed that we get the War Memorial cleaned, and we make other arrangements regarding the cobbles. I just really wanted your view on it, councillors.
There's no way the quotes would. There's no way we can afford
no.
the full quotes to totally recobble it. It should have been right in the first instance, but we've now inherited the situation. I think what we need to do is just we do need a memorial cleaning for Remembrance Day, though it's in a horrible state, and although I would say we need the tree replacing, I would like to see actually the top two trees on Country Way removed and a more suitable species replanted there, because it's the lime trees that making the mess on the War Memorial. It's sad. It's totally the wrong species of tree in that location. If we could ask our Broxtowe councillors to ask Broxtowe Council if they actually look after those trees on the centre of Plumtree Way, the tree officer, if they could be the top ones removed and replanted with a more suitable species. I'm not saying just chop the trees down, don't minute that as that way. I'm saying remove them and place more suitable species.
We're going to chop them down.
Yeah, but
You're replacing it.
I'm replacing the trees. I don't remove and no replacement. All right.
Yep.
Can we go back to War Memorial, the cobbles, stones and that?
Yeah.
We've come up with a plan, me and Dave. We're going to weed kill it all in between the cobbles, leave it for a week, and then what we're going to get then is, you know, similar to this fence creeps, what we're going to do is spread it out into the cracks and that.
Yeah.
Into the joints.
Into the joints.
Yeah.
And do it that way.
Yeah.
See how that works, without going through a lot of expense.
Yeah. That's excellent. Yeah.
County Council should pay for anything that's done with that, because they never did it properly in the first place. The grouting was nothing more than a driving model, so
That's right.
and we did ask them to do that. They came back and said, yeah, it's great, we've done it. They didn't. They didn't touch it. I think they must have just looked at it, taken a photograph and gone home.
Yeah.
But they are still responsible as far as I'm concerned. And if they send cowboys down, then they want to get rid of them and get somebody that can do a big grouting job properly.
Bit late.
Yes, David.
Chair, simple as that, that would have been my answer. I've seen this program where they either do sand and cement in and water it, or the postcrete in and water it in. It sets very quickly, and I think that's the solution to the problem of the cobbles.
Let's
look
try
into
and
that.
get it done. Can I move that
Yeah.
be done?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Can do that, David.
Yeah.
can't we?
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, David.
Report on Town Council representatives.
No, it's Queen Elizabeth's 90th birthday bonfire event, Councillor.
Well, we've got to reach
Yes,
the report. Can we note that report?
Just
then?
note it, yeah. And then the final item is for the RFO regarding the quotes for the utility companies.
Yeah, I've been in touch with 3 utility companies, Scottish Power, British Gas and E.ON, to try and get some kind of comparison. These were on the 7th of June. The prices might have gone up since then, you know what it's like. And electricity prices are going up. I was informed by one of them that electricity prices in the future years are going up. So if you look at that one for E.ON, the prices for E.ON for a 2-year contract, 3-year contract are not very favourable because the prices are destined to go up. But those are the prices I got from the different companies. I then gauged them on 1,000 units being used up for electricity, which is approximately what we are doing now. No idea on gas. I used a value just 1,000 units, and it would appear that British Gas is coming out the cheapest for both electricity and gas on a 1-year contract. These do include dual contracts for electricity and gas. So in other words, we get a discount from dual electricity, and also paying by direct debit, not the amount which they want to take out from us, from British Gas point of view, and also E.ON does it as well. We will give them a monthly reading, so the first possible day after the end of the month, we'll give them a reading, and they will, so it's our readings, and they're going to charge us on our readings, not this £100 a month, £200 a month, whatever it might be. So they're never going to be in credit, where Scottish Power don't have that system. They won't do that. They just want to take out money every month.
Yes, Bob.
Since we've had this building, I've actually done monthly readings. The
Yes, we have,
electric-
yeah.
I didn't actually do the last one. I wasn't here to do it.
Never mind.
But it is the best way forward. We need to keep on top of what, not just our usage, but our other users of this building. And this is, I would like probably to actually go to a dual fuel on one supplier. It's the way for the cheapest energy, and I therefore move that British Gas become our contract suppliers with respect to our paper.
All in favour? Number
Thank you.
Have you seconded it?
Yeah.
David.
David. Bob.
Sorry.
David. Town council representatives. Yes, Dave.
I don't know if anybody's noticed, but outside the doors there's 2 planters. They've been donated to Eastwood by Jacksdale Garden Centre, planted up and presented to the council by Brinsley Beavers. I thought that was a very nice thing for them to do, and so I've got to let everybody know that's where they've come from. Yes, that will be done.
Yes, David.
Just while we're talking on that, and talking about planters, outside the old council offices on Mansfield Road, the planters there now that we're not in situ could really do with moving further up to the corner to get a better view. To me now they're wasted where they are, they're a bit further down and ought to be just moved up the hill a bit. Observation.
I think for next year we can note that. I don't think we really would want to call now to have a charge for moving them, but let's make a note of that for next year.
Okay, Councillor.
Matters concerning Brockstow.
Quite honest, not a lot to comment on. We've gone on to a committee system. Susan's now no longer mayor, and I'm no longer the male escort, although I have to say I didn't make much money as a male escort, which I think is
Put on weight.
And the new mayor is Graham Harvey. I'm sure you'll have seen his photo many times in the paper as of late, and we wish him all the best for his year. And we wish us all the best for having more leisure time, which I'm going tomorrow, by the way.
Can I just say that Graham Harvey is a very good councillor. I've known him for the last 8 years, well for last year, and he's well deserving the mayorship. We have got another borough councillor present. Could we ask
him
to come forward? I think he wants some business. Well, no, he actually covers the town, don't you?
Yeah, just like to present this cheque on behalf of Broxtowe Borough Council towards this building. And when I say Broxtowe Borough Council, I mean Councillor Brown, Councillor Bagshaw, Councillor Masters and myself. What a fantastic building it is. The last time I came in was when the Mayor came to open Costa Coffee opposite side of the road, and I was invited in. I had to put Wellingtons on, a hard hat, a fluorescent jacket, and there was wires hanging down from the ceiling. We was stepping over potholes, and it only seemed 5 minutes ago. So what a fantastic amenity for the people of Eastwood. So I present you this cheque from a personal point of view, because quite often I come here and sit down. Taking politics aside, what always impresses me when I come here is how passionate every single councillor is. I say, taking politics out of it, everybody puts forward the best for the people of Eastwood. And that is fantastic, and I commend you for that, because it's a fantastic job you're doing for the people of Eastwood. And this is the icing on the cake, so if I can present you with this cheque.
Certainly can.
Thank you very much. Councillor Brown runs the camera club in Eastwood.
Use cameras, not toys.
Has it worked, Tony?
He knows more about bikes, I think.
It is.
Looks like a Virgin idea, man.
I have done 3 times. I think it's set up again. Try it again.
You've got one, Chris, as well.
Close it to that.
You've got one.
It's going.
Me, press the button.
I've done that about 6 times. Very slow.
It's not a brown,
I got a brown in it.
Well done.
Mr Mayor, can we send our thanks to Broxtowe for the money returned and distributed accordingly, please?
Yeah. Matters concerning County Council. We have got resurfacing planned for Duffcut Road from Nottingham Road to Toppermill Road.
Back time.
Yeah, and from Hilltop down to Newthorpe Common. right? And the one I've had today, which everybody will be really excited about, is from Nottingham Road, from the traffic lights outside the Sun Inn, right, to, where are we? And it's going down the streets as well as some of them. It's Queen's Road North.
At last. Has that been done at night?
I'll let you have that when it is. I'm not going through it now. Yes, sir?
Councillor, why are you talking about that? I don't know. I keep going around, and I'm glad you said that because I've been going around and I thought, well, these roads never come up now, and Duncut Road's a total mess. As is Mill Road at the bottom of Mill Road. That is absolute diabolical.
You're quite right.
And I've mentioned it that many times, Lincroft, we've still got a downgrade dip. We keep coming to putting a bit of tarmac in it, and then whoops, up you go. Eventually, somebody's going to challenge the county council because something's going to happen to the car. It's just, again, like a switchback. And this has been going on for years upon years, and nothing has ever, done about it. We need a bit more tarmac, straighten the road, job done. What's the problem? In fact, if they've got any left over for what they're doing now, they could barrow it round the corner and drop it in, and get a whacker, and that'd be job would be done.
Can I? Sorry. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I have reported to Laura Trussell about pavements within Eastwood. They have repaired some of the stones which are loose, but I've noted there is a lot more which are coming, especially outside Peacocks and up outside Lady Chatley's. There's some stones loose. Is any chance of us getting a councillor to talk to Broxtowe regarding the pavements within Eastwood?
I can do that, no problem.
I've already been on to her.
Can I?
Sorry, what you talking about?
Pavements.
You seem to be just
Sorry, the pavements within Eastwood. Obviously, you walk up and down Eastwood, because I saw you the other day. Outside Peacocks, some of the drainage ones are loose.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of old people within Eastwood, and they're very easy to trip up. Have had some replaced, but they only do one at a time.
Yeah.
Or one section at a time. They won't do the whole lot, but it needs doing urgently.
Again, David, I'd really like to take this up with you, but I'm now going
on
away for a
holiday.
fortnight. I'm sure we can rely on
Josie to take it up.
Mention that and get it all sorted out for the next meeting.
Right.
It's county council anyway.
Is it county council?
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Keith, can I ask you, put forward to counter, that Wellington Street, which is in a real bad state.
That's been done in this programme.
Right, and also Victoria Street. Which is in a bad state.
Alexander Street, Wellington Street.
Victoria?
No.
That is in a
I mean, that's what this is from the main road down Wellington Street.
Well, this
Same
is
on
the main road.
Yeah, but Wellington Street, where it's bad, it's down at the bottom, in it, outside the houses.
It's the same on Victoria Street. You know, when you get to the car park on Victoria Street, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where the church is, Charles
Yes.
Church, all the way down there then, that is really bad. They patched it, but no good.
Yeah, well,
If you could have words, I'll make a note.
Yeah, I'm going to say,
Please.
as you can have a look at that, Ken, right, you see Wellington Street's on there. Just a minute.
Come on, pass it to him.
There.
There you go, Tom.
That completes the meeting.
Are we moving on?
Yeah. All right, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, that concludes the meeting for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's good. Yep. Well done.
Payment schedule.
Payment schedule.
Payment schedule.
Well done, Chair.
I thought you said that
Exclusion.
do we need to exclude?
No, can I move on block the payment schedules that are listed under item 17 and 18? There's no update on the post office. And as regards item 20, unless any member of the committee wants to raise any questions on those minutes, can we take them as read, please,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
That's fair. That's all
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, update on the post office. A few weeks ago, we received an email to say that the two chaps had been into the office asking if they could take the ceiling tiles, the lights, fixtures and fittings, leave us quite magnanimously with the carpet, which we own anyway, and leave us the safes, which we don't want. Now that's got to be cleared up. We've got to tell them they can't have the ceiling, they can't have the lights, and we're not going to pay for the replacement.
Just give us it, Charlie. Yes, Bob. There's a meeting tomorrow, isn't there?
There's a meeting tomorrow about this. Yes, 10 o'clock.
Come on here. I can't get to 10 o'clock, I'm on the diocese. You know, they've got to be given some time. Can I just say, because I can't get to the meeting, 3 weeks or 4 weeks maximum to get rid of the two safes in there and the asbestos associated with them, because we don't want the cost of doing that.
Can I just point out one thing? What advice our solicitor gave us at the last meeting seems to be totally wrong. While I was on holiday, they went to bailiffs to find out what we could do and get them in line, ready for if anything was taken away, and was pointedly told by the bailiffs and other lawyers that we had it checked out with, that information we had was totally wrong.
Thank you.
We're now in the situation, up a creek without a paddle. The best thing is probably to negotiate with him and try to get the easiest way out without too much cost.
Chair, just very quickly, because I'm going to bring you a little bit of an update before we get into all this. I wasn't sure about why they couldn't put a new shop front on at the new premise. It's not a conservation area because that's across the road where all of those shops are, and they would have to adhere to what's on there as a conservation. But I got Christine Danby to come out, who's the enforcement officer, to have a look at it, because nobody had, and he's just ploughed on willy-nilly. We're in the process now of asking him who's given him permission to put the new shop front on, and why hasn't he got planning permission, or does he need planning permission? So I'm waiting for her to come back to me. What he's done within the shop on the A1 side, or change of use because he's going to use it as a post office with more cash, is still covered by the A1. We can't do anything about that whatsoever. But the front of the frontage, I don't know yet. But as I say, they've asked him to explain how he could do that without planning permission. And I don't know the answer yet, but I will come back to you.
But we're all in a situation where we are, and I want to try to spend the least amount of money on this.
So what you're saying, he can legally come and take it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, apparently we've spoken to Cherie, who is the head honcho in London regarding the post office. Both himself and the post office people put approximately £30,000 in each.
Yeah.
And according to solicitors and other people we've spoken to, you can't stop him taking some stuff if he wants to take it. That he might well be. I'm not arguing with you that.
I'll repeat it out loud.
Well, but he's entitled to take what he's put in.
He's put
Allegedly.
nothing in, he got 3 months rent free to start with.
Yeah.
Well, this is
where we're in a bit of a limbo.
And now we're telling him we don't want rent from the 1st of July.
We're going to try and get it back, Charlie.
Sorry?
We're going to try and get that back, that rent back.
We did try, but we didn't.
No, we haven't done anything.
No, we haven't done anything yet.
We're talking about tomorrow. This is one of we might offer it, then that takes claw the money back from the 3
okay.
months.
Yeah.
Can we have a
rent
meeting
and-
tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, Bay 3 Shipley, Ildersley?
Have you got a Skype on your phone?
I presume so.
A bit difficult.
It's a smartphone, but I'm not smart enough to operate it.
To go in, we have now got Skype working, conference set to the meeting. Well, after the meeting, I'll work through and see if we can get it done.
I think there's enough discussion on that, and that conclude the meeting this evening.